Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hello. It's going to be one of those episodes today. So I'm getting right into it. Junior conversations will get you nothing but junior results. This episode, I'm talking about one of the biggest misconceptions I feel that people have in their career journey, whether it's a career change, promotions, salary, and I like to talk about money. So we're gonna touch on why this is keeping you broke, why this is not even keeping you broke, why this is keeping you away from the six figures, why this is keeping you stuck where you don't want to be financially. But this episode, we are talking about why talking about your qualifications is not the greatest way to go in your career. And I know you're all going to be like, what? We are taught to go to school, get a good education, get our qualifications, and then get the great job. How many of you have done exactly that? How many of you listening right now have got degrees and master's degrees and are still earning 30K or less? How many of you are only earning 40K or less? You have a master's degree. I am in awe of anyone who has gone to university, got a degree, and then gone on further to get a master's. You guys know I didn't go to university. So I don't want you to think it's me bashing qualifications, because it's not. I've got a whole 17-year-old right now doing A-levels who is excited to go off to university. I'm excited to see her get a degree. I have so much respect for anyone who continues education and studies as hard as you do. I watch my daughter. I remember myself being in college, and studying and how hard it was. For any of my American listeners, we go to college here before university. So university and getting your degree is separate. You get your high school, what you guys would call a high school diploma. Then we go on to something called college in the middle, where you go for 2 years or 3 years, depending on what you're studying. And then you can go off to university or not. So yeah, just so that makes sense for any of my American listeners, because I know a few of you have said to me before, this is so confusing, Adele. Anyway, before I go off on a tangent, back to what I was saying. I have a lot of respect for people that have got qualifications, but I'm also so frustrated and annoyed when I speak to women, when I coach women who say to me, Adele, I've got a whole master's degree, I'm earning 27K. How dare you? That's the first thing I want to say to you. How dare you to yourself? How dare you disrespect yourself like that? Your degree probably costs more than what you're earning. You work damn hard. You are good. Do you know how hard it is to stay dedicated, focused, study, do all those things? My daughter has all them little cue cards, where you got to do all your research and where she's doing all her revision. You've taken all that time, all those years, got a degree and then a master's for someone to disrespect you with these small salaries. And yes, I understand we all have to start somewhere, but some of you have been working 10, 15 years and you're on 30K. You have a whole master's degree. Don't disrespect yourself like that. And this is why so many of those women get caught in this position. Because when I speak to the women that I work with, the first thing they say to me is, but I got my degree. I've got my master's, Adele. But yet when I'm going for interviews, they're not offering me the jobs. And when I am getting offered, I'm getting the lower end. I'm having to still go for what's basically classed as an entry-level role, even though I've been doing this for years. And I can't understand what is holding me back. I've got all the qualifications I need. I've got the experience as well. But I'm still not where I want to be financially. And then there's the other pool of women that I work with that are saying to me, I want to break the 6-figure mark, but I just feel stuck. My qualifications have got me this far. I love that I'm qualified, but it's I'm stuck. And this episode is going to tell you why. The reason is, if you spend all your time speaking about qualifications, it makes you sound junior. That's why some women are having to go for entry-level roles. That's why some women are finding themselves stuck at a certain salary. Because if all your career you've only ever spoken about qualifications, you are starting to sound very junior. Because a junior person, someone who hasn't got any real experience in the world of work, hasn't ever really worked anywhere, they're going to talk about their qualifications because that's what they have. They've just come out of school. So that's why it sounds junior, because when you just come out of school, of course, that's what you're going to talk about, your qualifications, because what else are you going to talk about? You've never had your first job. You're not really up with the world of work. So you're going to be talking about qualifications. If you continue to talk about qualifications 10, 15 years into your career, you make yourself sound junior, because people with less experience than you, people with less years working, are talking about their expertise. They are talking about their career identity. They are not solely focused on their qualifications. Listen, if you are able to talk about your expertise along with your qualifications, you will smash through the barriers of financial abundance. You will smash through the opportunities that you think you can't get. You will stop feeling stuck, because highly paid people and people that change industry as well easily, or more easily than other people, focus on how their qualifications and their skills and their previous experience delivers results that a company most want. Remember, no matter how qualified you are, it's not your qualification that's doing the work, it's you. Your qualification gives you the knowledge, but you have to implement that knowledge. So your qualification is a great thing to have, but do you understand how your qualification is helping you make your company money? Do you understand how your qualification is helping you add value and contribute to the bottom line of a company? Companies care about profit. I've said it before and I'll say it over and over again. Most companies, all companies, care about profit. Even charities, and that might sound terrible, but even charities care about profit because they need the money to fund the charity. Like, they need to be able to support people. They want to do charitable things. Charitable things cost money. Nothing's free. WaterAid's not free. Nothing's free. They're asking for our donations. Companies care about profit. Companies care about their bottom line. A company cannot function if it's not making money. And if it is functioning and not making money, it's because the person behind already had money. Let's be clear. So how are you helping the company make money? How are you helping the company grow? How are you helping them be compliant? Because even helping a company be compliant is helping them make money. Being a lawyer, helping companies get out of problems and trouble, you are saving them money. You are helping them not to lose money. You're helping their reputation, because if a company has a bad reputation, customers will not come. If customers do not come, no money will be made. Every role is important at every level. But are you able to communicate that? If you haven't listened to the episode Career Identity, I suggest you go back and listen to it. I can't remember what number it is. I feel like it's number 40, but I could be totally wrong. But go and find Career Identity. That's a really important episode, and I feel like that connects with this really well. But highly paid staff are not talking about their qualifications. Let's be honest, if you're spending all your time talking about qualifications, there's going to be a point where you hit an invisible ceiling, because you're going to hit an invisible ceiling of what you can earn. Because if you're using your qualification to help you get the promotion or help you get the pay rise, at some point you're going to stop getting qualified. Unless you're going to stay in school until you're like 60 years old before you need to retire, unless you're going to go back to school and continue to keep going back to school. If you've already got the master's degree, now what? We're going to get a degree in another industry, in another sector. What now? There's a point where you hit a ceiling, because now you can't get any more qualifications. So what are you going to speak about when you get in that room? Because now you're paid at the level for your qualification. How do you get more money? Unless you keep getting more qualifications, because that's the only thing you're ever speaking about. If you are in a room with 10 other people who have the exact same qualification as you, how do you stand out? This is why sometimes you're going to interviews and you are not getting the offers that you deserve. You are not able to negotiate the money that you more than deserve. Your work speaks for itself, a lot of you, but because you cannot communicate it, companies will continue to shortchange you. They know you're worth more. Do you know how many of my clients I've worked with, and within like 6 weeks of us working in Create Your Own Lane, they've gotten like a 10K pay rise at their current job while we're working on them leaving that job so that they can get another job, because they don't even want to be at that job anymore. But you know me, why not use where you are and get what you want while you're working towards the next goal? You know, that's my motto. So the only reason that's happening is because they was always worth that extra 10K. They're worth more than that. The company knows your job right now, knows you are worth more money, but they will continue to underpay you for as long as they can get away with it. Especially when you sit in a room and try and negotiate, and your only negotiation is, I've been here a really long time, so you should be rewarded for warming the seat of your desk chair. And you know I'm joking when I say that, but guys, that's how it comes across. So you've been here for years, and what? Why does that matter? I always say to my clients, when you are speaking in a negotiation, talk about why it matters. That is your only goal. Talk about why what you do matters. If you've been at a company for years, why does that matter? Because someone might have only been there 6 months and done more than you've done in 5 years. I know that's probably not true, but why does it matter that you've been there years? What have you done in those years to impact the company bottom line? What have your contributions done to make that company better? Why? Why does it matter? If I'm telling you to negotiate a salary and I'm speaking to you and I'm saying, go and negotiate, ask for more money, you need to know why working there for a long time matters. It's the same with your qualifications. The whole reason for this episode, why I'm telling you stop talking about your qualifications, because the only time you should be talking about your qualification is if you can say why it matters. Because if 10 of us are in the room and we've all got the same qualification, how do you stand out? Why does it matter that you've got a master's degree? When I've seen 5 other people say they had the same master's degree. You have to start talking about your qualifications, your skills, your expertise, your experience in terms of results. You have to stop talking about these qualifications as if they're the only reason why you're good at your job, because they're not. You probably got qualified 5 years ago, 3 years ago, some of us 10 years ago, 15 years ago even. So that was when you did your qualification. Since then, you've learned so much more outside of your qualification. That is what's making you better and better at your job every single year. Not a qualification that you studied 4 years ago. Not a qualification that you studied 5 years ago. Not a qualification that you studied 10 years ago. There's no way that qualification that you studied 10 years ago is the only reason you're good at your job today. And if I'm wrong, someone come and tell me, but there is no way that the qualification you did 10 years ago is the only reason you are good at your job today, is the only reason you deserve a pay rise. Because if that's the case, then you will never be able to get past a certain level of money. The reason I have people with no qualifications getting 20, 30, 40K pay rises, breaking the 6-figure mark, is because they understand how to sell their skills and their expertise. You guys know I'm a career change coach. So majority of the people I work with are working on career changes. Yes, I support people with the promotions and the pay rises, but the majority of people I work with are changing industry. They are not about to go and get another qualification. Because a lot of them, like me, very lazy. I wanted to change industry. I did not want to spend another 3 years in school. Absolutely not. So I had to figure out a way of how am I going to leave childcare and get into human resources? How am I going to get into management? How am I going to do all these things without going back and getting a qualification? Because I don't want to. I didn't want to at the time and I don't want to now. How? Because I'm going to talk about how my skills are going to impact a company's bottom line. I'm going to talk about myself in the most valuable way I can. My value cannot come from just a qualification. The thing is, if you can start speaking about your skills and your expertise and your experience in terms of results, and then you throw in your qualifications, oh my gosh, the money you're going to start seeing in your bank. The opportunities, the quality of the opportunities is going to level all the way up because you now understand why what you have matters. And I think that's key. A junior conversation is when you say, I am good at my job because I'm qualified. A highly paid conversation or an expert conversation is when you say, I'm good at my job because I have done X, Y, Z. I will continue to do X, Y, Z. Given the right scope, I will be able to bring you X, Y, Z. And X, Y, Z, please know, it's always going to be tied back to bottom line. How I can make you profit, how I can make you money, how I can give the company the result they want. If it's not money that your company wants, what is the result they want? If you work in a school, they want an outstanding Ofsted. How are you as a teacher contributing to that outstanding Ofsted? How are you as a teacher making sure all your students are getting top grades or at least are progressing very quickly? How are you doing that? Are you talking about that? That is why your qualifications matter. That is why your skills matter. The reason people are changing industry without any qualifications and still getting pay rises and still making really good money is because they understand their value and they understand why things matters. They are no longer having these junior ass conversations where all they have to offer is a qualification. What else? Because you have so much more to offer. When I'm working with my clients and we speak about this, the one thing that always seems to come up is they're like, wow, I never thought of like what value I bring. I never thought about how I'm making my company money in so many different ways. Because one thing we look at is how can you start speaking about your value? How can you start speaking about the value of your contributions? Whether they're financial or not, you have a valuable contribution. How are you speaking about that? So instead of speaking about qualifications, we're talking about how are you using what you have to make your company money and bring in new customers or business? How are you using what you have to improve their brand reputation or just generally make a difference? How are you supporting your company to get the results that it wants? Now, how will you do more of that in the future or in a new role? Now tell them to pay you. So many people, especially in the UK, want to break that 6-figure mark. And people will come to me and say, well, I'm not qualified, so I can't break the 6-figure mark. And then we work together and they do. or they get damn close to it. Like my client who went from like 70K to 92. They'll get damn close, no qualification at all. But then there's so many of you that are so highly qualified, got so much great experience, got so much great expertise and skills, and are on like 30 and 40K. That's crazy to me. You deserve so much more. You can get so much more. Recently, someone reached out to me, and back in 2021, I had helped her and she had got a pay rise and she had changed industry. Recently, she reached out and says, basically letting me know that everything she's learned from me is still working till this day, because her company tried to offer her a pay rise and she said, thank you, no thanks. She said, thank you, next, furthermore. She said, I'm worth way more. If you can't give it to me, I'm off. Guess what? The 5K pay rise they offered her turned into a 20K pay rise because these companies know you're worth it. She did not go and get another qualification. She did not have to go and get more. Who she is already is worth that money. These companies will always try and save their budget. Listen, they wouldn't be profitable companies if they didn't. Don't be offended. That's what companies are supposed to do. Try and save their budget so that they can make even more profit. That's what they're meant to do. They're doing their job well. Respect the hustle. Learn to finesse and have your own hustle for yourself so you can match these companies' energy. They care about their bottom line and their profit. You should care about your bottom line. Your bottom line is your bank account. Your bottom line is the life you're trying to build. Money is not the end goal for me personally or the women I work with. Freedom and options are the end goal, and they come from money. Whether we like it or not, we live in a world where the more money you have, the more freedom and options you have. Options are important to me. I want to be able to say, you know what, I only want to work 2 days a week or 3 days a week. That's an option that being able to earn a certain amount of money gives me. That's an option that being able to talk about things above my qualifications, that gives me. So instead of having junior conversations, we are having senior conversations. You lot are already doing senior work. You lot are already supporting companies at the highest level, a lot of you. But you're still having junior conversations because you are so focused on your qualifications. And that comes from conditioning. We are conditioned growing up that, oh, the smartest people have the best qualifications. Absolutely not true. Common sense is not free and everyone doesn't have it. So even if 20 people get a degree, doesn't mean every single one of those 20 people has a common sense. Common sense is not afforded to all of us. And that degree you got when you were 20 something and now you're 30 something or close to it or over it, 40 something, however old you are, might not even serve you for the place in life you are now. Like, look at me. I studied working with children. I studied childcare. I studied education. I don't do that anymore. Yes, I educate adults. And I've also studied that. But that's not what I do anymore. I'm not in a classroom teaching. I'm on a podcast teaching and supporting. I'm coaching women. I got into human resources and recruitment. I didn't use that qualification because it didn't serve me. I started a business. Those qualifications wouldn't have served me. They're not going to help me do marketing and sell my business. You will evolve. So yes, your qualifications definitely matter. They are important and they have helped you get to a certain point. But do not create a glass ceiling because you feel like the only thing that makes you valuable is that qualification. Money confidence and strong negotiation skills come from understanding your value and understanding the value of the contributions you deliver at work. You have to be able to clearly see how what you do delivers results and makes someone else money. That someone else is your company, a business. You make someone else money. What about you makes money? Why does what you have matter? So again, I say, junior conversations will give you nothing more than junior results. Stop talking about your qualifications and watch your career skyrocket. If I took your qualification away today, what else do you have to offer? What do you bring to the table? Start working on that. Become a well-rounded person. Because I'm not telling you to not care about your qualification. You damn well should care about something that you've worked so hard to get. But be well-rounded. That is not all you are. Just like I'm a mum, but that is not all I am. I was Adele before I was a mum. I've been in human resources. I've been a childcare worker. I've been a teacher. I've been a nursery manager. I have run offices. My career has been all different things. I'm a first aid trainer. I train trainers. Like, there are so many other aspects of me. I'm a daughter. I'm someone else's daughter. I'm not just a mum. I'm a really nice person, even if I say so myself. I'm a really loving and kind friend. There are so many facets to me. I'm not one thing. You are not your qualification. you are about 20 other things. So rather than staying focused on that one thing, outside of that, what else do you bring to the table? That's how you're going to break the salary ceiling, the ceiling that you find yourself stuck at because you're still having the same junior conversations. That's how you're going to pass that barrier. That's how you're going to break the 6-figure mark. That's how you're going to get to the mid and high 6 figures because you are having different conversations. Like I said, unless you are planning to get a qualification every couple of years so that you can make more money, get access to better jobs, change career, then there has to be another way. This is that other way. Congrats on the qualifications. They are a hard thing to come by. Now start talking about why it matters. Why you having that qualification matters. Why you being a highly qualified babe is important. Listen, all my master's degrees girlies, stop letting these people disrespect you. You have so much. Not only have you worked maybe the last 10 years, but you also have a master's degree on top of it. Don't let anyone disrespect your pockets or your bank balance. Start telling them why you're valuable, why you deserve more. Work on your confidence and walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. Your situation now is temporary. You can change it, but only if you change the conversation. I told you it was going to be one of them episodes, guys. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Junior conversations, junior results. Senior conversations, senior results. If you want to start earning more money, stop focusing solely on your qualifications. And I will catch you on the next episode. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.